Sometimes I find myself negotiating with PlayStation fanboys and then I snap out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel those negotiations because I've been inadvertently doing it, and I'm going to state that all the people that have a problem with how the Xbox Ally X will play the Xbox games, be it natively or whatever, I want to say that your argument, or I guess I would say your idea, is basically inconsequential. That's a nice way of me saying the argument's a stupid argument. But let's use inconsequential because, again, we're going to keep it for TV. Okay? Kids, if you're listening, don't use the word, stupid. Okay? Listen to your mom and dad. Now, the reason I say this is because I think I've gotten a little tired with the pedantic nonsense that a lot of these folk are doing. In fact, I got a comment from a user who said something, and they said this. They said, let's be real. The ponies are doing a great job speaking out on this. Unlike the Xbox community, who let their fanboy ego get in the way, knowing very well this Xbox handheld is going to do nothing for them. So I asked them one simple question, and they got mad. I said, what are the ponies saying? He said, what are the ponies saying? You know exactly what they're saying about the Xbox Rogue Ally. If you want to play dumb with me, that's fine. I advise you block me and continue your console war bullcrap. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to block you. I just asked you a question. Now, that's probably not how they wrote it. I'm just, embellishing. I mean, for YouTube effect. And I said, just tell me, what they said. I said, I'm not trying to block you unless you want me to. And I think what this is showing is this thing has reached a boiling point. It's reached a critical point. Some people are looking at this device and asking, what is it going to do for the Xbox user? I play on the PC side. I can simply tell you, do you want to know? And the willingness to know is also a very important thing, rather than try to mischaracterize things like this chart that this person did over here. Now, this is a console warrior engaged in what I call the brain rot of console war. If you're interested, all these devices and exactly what they're capable of actually have what I think are very important aspects that you could go ahead and examine for yourself and be aware of. So again, the whole talk about natively and all that stuff is inconsequential, aka stupid. And it's inconsequential, aka stupid, because when you have Play Anywhere technology, this is the Steam Deck in front of you, it doesn't necessarily mean jack squat whether you're playing a native or a non-native version. For instance, this is Batman Arkham right here on the Steam Deck. I want to go ahead and help you guys get my camera focused. Okay. I can play this version of Batman Arkham Knight, which is on a Linux-based version because this is the Steam's operating system, right? And it's working via a translation layer of some kind because this operating system is Proton. But Batman Arkham Knight was not designed for Proton. It was designed for Windows. So am I playing the native version of Batman Arkham City or Arkham Knight or whatever other game? Well, no, but it's inconsequential. I could also go ahead from this desktop of mine and stream the Windows version of Batman Arkham Knight. In fact, this PC that I'm trying to stream it from is this exact same PC that you're looking at right here. Okay? This exact same PC. This is it right here. This is the PC that I'm actually showing you the Batman Arkham City from. Let me go ahead and center this stuff for you because I have all this stuff on here. So am I playing the native version of this game? And at the end of the day, whether or not I'm playing native version, which I'm not, it's inconsequential because what this actually does, this is Batman Arkham City. This is that version it was just asking me on my Steam Deck if I wanted to go ahead and stream. This is this version over this version here. That's the version because I just basically went to this particular device and I tried to stream it. Does that make sense? Now, what this device does for the Xbox user, having looked at the way it works on Steam, even though you have two separate versions, they're both on PC, but they're different versions. One of them, right, is being, is using a translation layer. They're the same versions, but different versions. They have progression that syncs, that works in a very nice, sequential way, where if I play on this handheld device, right, if I fire the game up on this handheld device right now, right, and I start streaming it, it's going to show up on this desktop on here. And when I save, it's going to pretty much sync the saves because it's playing that version of the game, the one that is actually right here. I want to make sure I explain this as detailed as possible. Or if I actually choose that I'm going to play the version on here on the Steam Deck itself, which is not necessarily that, its save files will also do the same. Now here's the crazy part. This Xbox device, Xbox Ally X, it's going to be using Windows. So already I'm just going to go with the Windows-based side of things. As to the UI and all the others, we're going to see that when it comes out. Xbox has an app that actually has some layer of, compatibility with their consoles. I'll do it on the big screen PC here first, and then we're going to go to this device, and I'm going to explain it. Because there's people that say PlayStation gamers are, the ones talking about what this device is not going to do. Many of them don't even know what this device is going to do. I proved that in another video where somebody said you need Game Pass Ultimate for remote play on your console. That's not true. They confused remote play with cloud streaming. Many of these PlayStation talkers don't know about the Xbox ecosystem. And I'm going to say that. I'm saying that not because, hey, I've arrived. I learned from the Xbox gamers, and you all need to submit yourselves to learning as well. Let the Xbox cats teach you about their ecosystem, else you make a nincompoop out of yourself. So this app on here has accessibility for me to connect to an Xbox console, which if it's on standby on, will allow for me to play those games on the console. So those of you on PlayStation who are speaking out against this device, it just is like your PlayStation Portal in that sense. That's one way it actually exists. So that Xbox app, I also have access to it on the handheld. So all those games that you saw on there, Game Pass games, games I own, library games, including games from other apps, are going to be on the handheld via the Xbox app. Do you see that? Now, here's the other cool part. If the game is a Play Anywhere game, just like you saw with the Steam Deck, where it's not the Windows version, but it's a translated version, the Play Anywhere games will allow for me to be able to play here and have my progress go to my Xbox console. That right there is what this device is going to do for the Xbox gamer, to those of you who are asking. As to remote play, right? Some of you are asking, but how is it going to work? I can also, via this app, click this and go to that Xbox console where I will then play, because some of you are obsessed. It says try again. I need to turn that console on. I turned it off yesterday. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and get it started for y'all. I think we're cooking with peanut oil. I turned the console on. I turned it off yesterday. I was trying to play Mortal Kombat, and I was losing, and in my soreness from having been bodied by other sweaties. So it basically accesses the console. So this right here, and I know some of you PlayStation fans have never seen an Xbox user interface. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just playing. I'm not editing that out, though. And now you have access to those console games, and it fulfills your native that you've all had on the Xbox handheld. Oh, it's not playing the games natively. One person said what did they call it? How do you go? The PlayStation Portal does actually access the native version of the game. Well, you could do the same with, you could do it with many devices, actually. It doesn't even have to be just some kind of a handheld gaming device. If you install Windows and the Xbox app on the Steam Deck, you'll also be able to do it with the Steam Deck. It's not unique in that regard, right? But it does, at the end of the day, give you access. And again, for those asking what it's going to do for the Xbox user, it gives you access to something that ideally you would not have gotten if, say, you were only on an Xbox, old school console, the Xbox Series S, X, and such, is it will give you access to a library of games that are available on Steam, where you will now be able to, on this Xbox, natively play PlayStation games, the PC versions of PlayStation games. I think a lot of people, and this is just my opinion, I've given you the facts. Now let me share my opinion with you. A lot of you that are saying all these things about the console, that piece of the puzzle is a reality. And these Xbox gamers are going to have access to the one thing that you've lorded over them for a very long time. For years, you all have said that their ecosystem was trash and there was no way. And by the way, this is how you actually disconnect it. You go ahead and you click, there's an option, hold on. Let me see, you go back, there's an option here in the top left corner and you can disconnect from the console. And then say disconnect. And now the console is back, I'm back in this app. For the longest time, you've lorded it over them that they couldn't get access to your games. But now, because this device, which is agnostic to the console limitations and does have ways of traversing those limitations, and now has other aspects to it like Steam, is now going to be basically your nemesis. So these Xbox users, it's not their ego that's the problem. It's the fact that your ego is now going to clown you. That's where the problem is. The PlayStation user anyways. Because that person, that comment said it was the Xbox users and their egos that don't want to say anything. Well, here we are giving you the lowdown. It's the egos of the so-called PlayStation hyper super fanboy, right? That's going to now be in check, especially in this situation where your games that you played on the console and loaded over everybody that are now available on Steam, all 25 of them, they're now going to be accessible to these Xbox players on their own platform. That's my read. I could be wrong, but I'm going to see these Xbox gamers pretty soon playing God of War. And I remember that the PlayStation gamers said that they could never play it. The reason I even know that this is an issue is whenever I say this, they say, well, can you play Ghost of Yotei? And then they start saying you have to wait. See? You have to wait. You have to wait. You have to wait. They start saying all kinds of weird, interesting things because they know that such notions have already been defeated. So God of War, if they want, if you're an Xbox guy, I recommend this game. I recommend this game. Yes, it's a dad simulator. Call it what you want. It's good. It's a good dad simulator. It's actually solid. I can't recommend Horizon. I couldn't get through it. So maybe somebody else might have a better idea than I do. Perhaps. Maybe you can recommend it. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, I recommend it. I played it at launch on my PlayStation. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, I recommend. This was a 2018 version. This one's a lot of fun. Can't recommend Spider-Man 2 to you because I don't know what the flip they were thinking. Days Gone, I'm still playing, so I can't recommend just yet. But from what I've played, I feel like it's a solid game, right? And a lot of these other PlayStation games, you get to pretty much go ahead and choose which one you want to actually dabble into. They try to withhold Stellar Blade from you. I played the demo. Game ran very well. Some recommend it. Some don't care. So I can't recommend anything other than try the demo and see how it goes. Then you got Until Dawn. Nobody bought it, so I don't even know. I didn't buy it. You got Ratchet and Clank. My kids beat it. They loved it. So if you like these kinds of games, perhaps, maybe they're, I don't know, their opinions might be of worth to you. Then you got The Last of Us Part 1. I beat it on the PlayStation 4. Good game. Play it. Uncharted 4. I beat it on the PlayStation 4. 30 FPS at that time too. Good game. Play it. This right here is what I think a lot of the PlayStation fanboys are afraid of. You are going to get access to this game. And once you get access to this game, what's going to happen is they're not going to be able to lord it over you anymore. There's an entire library of these games that they're not going to be able to go ahead and touch because you now simply have access to the games that they were saying you couldn't get because, they said because your platform couldn't get these games, your platform was the inferior platform. But now your platform is about to get these games. So that changes their notions and their arguments. It's going to be very painful for a lot of them because of how they've sounded. It's not because I'm saying it just to go ahead and exacerbate anything. I'm just saying from what I have heard them say, it sounds like this is actually going to be painful for them. In fact, we've seen some of them on Icon Era and some of them talking about all these other, facets. So already, that that's probably where it's coming from. So to the PlayStation fans that, are speaking out against the Xbox Ally X and all, keep talking. We'd love to hear what you have to say. At least everybody is, so far anyways, knows what this thing's going to do. It's just people that are trying to equate, some other agencies as not knowing really what to do. Oh, PlayStation fans think this is going to play their games natively. It will be able to remote play it natively. It won't be able to play it like the way natively, but it will remote play it natively. And then it will play anywhere games natively and PC games natively. It's going to do a lot of that. And there's a $500 version. They're all coming out with $1,000. There's a $500 version. Let the truth and the facts not get in the way of console warring and fanboyism. Peace out.